Hi guys, I've been asked to make a tutorial of how I make some scrapbook paper. I make it vintage and now I'm going to show you how I do it. I take some A3 paper, a bit heavier than ordinary printer paper. I take A3 paper and cut it down to 8.5 by 11, ordinary standard US letter size. Or if you prefer, you can make it any size you want. To get it to have the vintage look, I dye it in coffee. I'm gonna prepare some coffee and I'll be back. Hi, I'm back. Now I take some ordinary coffee into a bowl. This is some leftovers from tonight, and it's still hot, as you see. What I do, I take some decoupage lac, decoupage glue, ordinary type, and I mix it with the coffee, just because then the so the paper can stick together while it's drying. So I whisper that together. I just randomly take a bit glue, and then I use a big pan. This is just a stove pan. And then I take all coffee and just pour it in the pan. Then I take the paper I cut. I have to get some room. I hope you see this. Take the first. I dye it. It's a bit messy, but that's okay. You have to dye it so it's easy to work with. You have to dye it, dip it in the coffee, turn it a couple of times, and then you lay it on the table. I use an ordinary garbage sack to cover my kitchen. And I use a sponge, a little sponge, to dye it some more, to get some pattern. And then I'll take some ordinary napkins with a nice motif, and this time I will use these three combined together. Pretty in pink, some roses, and a little angel. I'll be back. I'll take a napkin, and the napkin consists by 3 layers, and I have to take this away. I'm gonna turn, so now I can work without the napkin gets wet. I just take them apart like this, and I save the motif because first I will take one layer of only white napkin. And I turn my camera again, and I start tear off a corner and put it on the sheet. And I do that with all the paper. I'm going to cover every sheet with a layer of white napkin first. And I will do that on both sheets, and I'll be back. I'm back, and I thought I should do the last bit while you watch. I just tear pieces of the napkin and put it down on the sheets. Doesn't matter if it's overlap, because it's so thin that it won't matter in the end. Oh, that's... sometimes I make a mess. That doesn't matter. That's okay. Like this. Whee! You see, it's I always mess up things, but I don't give up, and I know to take it down again. Now you see, it's not all of it is wet, and then I take the sponge and I just take some more coffee mix on the top, and I flatten it down like this. And now you see it's still very wet, but then I will take some motif, the little angel, and I tear it out. I don't fussy cut it, because I'm not I don't want straight edges in because they are likely to show, and then I tear it. Maybe I'm off the camera now. And you can lay it down on the right side, or you can turn it and lay it down with the front down, because when you take it down on the wet on the coffee, the color will shine through, and then you get your motif the way you want it. I'm sorry for my bad English, because I'm not used to this. Is my first video ever, and it's gonna be this is gonna be a mess, I think. I hope you forgive me, and then I can have a little girl in the side too, if I want to, or you can leave it with just one. I thought I should use some of the hearts. It's not. I'm gonna use some of the hearts on this napkin, and then now I have torn off the edge with the beautiful tiny hearts, and I will put it on the edge of my own paper. It's I take not too wide edge, just to have a tiny frame on the paper, and it's subtle hearts, so it's just as you see a little bit of the hearts. You can be accurate and make the corner and make it the hearts the right way, but I'm not so picky on how I lay it down. And some place it's overlap, and I don't think that's matter. Hi guys, I'm back. My phone camera wouldn't help me today, so I had to shift to my Mac, and I hope this is better. Now I have put the motif where I want it, and then I let it dry. I'm gonna show you some paper that is already dry, so you can see how it will be after it's finished. Just a moment. Here you can see one paper I already made, and you see it's not sticking down everywhere because maybe I had too little glue in my coffee. In this particular sheet I took some color in. That's up to you what you want to do. I think this blue-green color is pretty. I can show you some, and then you just trim off the extra outside paper and you cut it off. This is, as you see, 12 by 12, so it's a bit larger. When I scan it, I took it to my work, where there is a office printer, and they have a bigger screen to scan it. So if you have an ordinary scanner and not access to a big one, you can make letter sized or A4 size. And if you don't want to make it brownish vintage, you can always take do it without the coffee stained, and do it on this is I had a bit tea in this. I think it's not quite white, but it's much lighter, as you see. When the paper is dry, it will darken some, and I can show you the one I put out there. This is the I shared with you guys. And you see it's pretty dark. And if you have an editing program in on your computer, you can lighten it to get a lighter. If you want that, if you like that better, that's your choice. Okay, then I think I stop this for now, and maybe I'll be back soon with some other tutorials.